Well, I'll do another update on the political situation. This is December the 29th. I'll try to keep this one brief today because, well, as you saw the last one I did, things have advanced within hours of me posting it. And if you like these videos, remember to subscribe and to give me a like. I really appreciate that. And you can, of course, conform to anybody. But let's get on with it. Well, President Trump has signed the big bulky bill with both the COVID stimulus and the funding for the rest of fiscal 2021. And he apparently sent in a red line of things he'd like to be removed, which of course the House then completely ignored, voted for $2,000, but then upped it from what Trump asked for. And because Trump was only asking for $2,000 for the adults in the family, they also increased it to $2,000 per child from $600. So now this thing has grown to like a $500 billion plus up. And now it's passed the House and gone to the Senate. Similarly, of course, the House, as predicted, overrode the Defense Authorization Act, which I presume the Senate will do also. Because although the idea of repealing Section 230 is a good idea, it doesn't seem like it's very likely to get support in the House or the Senate either enough to actually get it through. And so you just have a completely hung up situation. On balance, I think what's in the bill is good and probably better than letting Joe Biden have his own way with it, so to speak. And after all, even the things we don't like, let's say, in there, well, Joe Biden will just pass them in next year's bill anyhow, right? So, and I'm accepting the fact that the challenges will probably fail. I know there's a new novel theory that's been thrown out on that, and I might get into that a little later if I have time for it. I guess the situation's down to the last 3 days of voting and early voting, in Georgia, plus the election day voting on the 5th of January. And President Trump has said he's going to go down and make, I guess, 2 campaign stops on the 4th to get out the vote effort for the election day vote, which is supposed to be where the bulk of the remaining Republican votes are. So we're very hopeful that we can win those seats. The Real Clear Politics average has them literally tied. I mean, tied in 0.2%. So it's and when you look into the polls again, I mentioned earlier that there's a great divergence between the polls that are there. The Trafalgar has it pretty well in favor of the Republicans, and there's one poll from Survey USA that has it pretty well in favor of the Democrats. On the other hand, I sometimes for some reason in the last year, I've got on some of the Democrat email list. Honestly, I didn't contribute to them. I didn't. But I did get on their list, and I got one from Stacey Abrams where she sounded just about as upset as the Republican emails I've been getting all along are. So it's based on that. It's hard to know. I have heard just today that Chuck Schumer has indicated that he's basically calling off his contributor dogs, saying basically, save your money for other races in the future, that this thing isn't going to go our way. I don't know what to think about that. It could be strategic deception, leaking out something like that, while actually secretly telling them, give me every dollar you can. So we don't know. I wouldn't count on that, nor will I really count on anything else. Senator Manchin says he won't vote to eliminate the filibuster either. I can see good reasons why that might be true, but again, I wouldn't want to bet the future of the country on that. So it's still very critical that we get those seats, and it's also critical from another point of view. Going forward, we have to look at 2022 and a chance of really taking the Congress and holding it. And, I mean, we're very close in the House, and usually the party out of power, gains ground in the off election. Just happened in 18, against us. So good chance if we can hold the Senate and maybe even gain a seat or two in 2022, and then, of course, hold gain control of the House, we'd be in position to really stymie any of these ongoing extreme left-wing ideas for some time to come, and maybe winning the 2024 election. And who knows? Will Trump run again or not, or will somebody who Trump can support get the nomination? The worst possible scenario would be, of course, that it would be somebody that Trump would be opposed to getting it. and having him being basically throwing stones, that would be really bad. So I think the Republican Party needs to continue to work with President Trump, regardless of the outcome of these challenges. And so I don't know. I mean, we can hope for the best. The key thing, though, I think the election in Georgia will depend on the Republican turnout between now and through the election day on the 5th. I think it's winnable if we all turn out and vote and can overwhelm any fraudulent votes and out-of-state votes and dead votes, etc. But it's also possible to lose it if people get complacent. So, like I said, I kind of wonder if some strategic deception is being put out there by Schumer. So we'll just have to see. Okay. On the other hand, it's possible that, well, at any rate. Now, Trump's little gambit's going to be kind of interesting. It hits the Senate today. It'll be interesting to see how the votes go. Now, as it is right now, there's 48 votes, I guess, for the big $2,000 head plus up, and that includes children now, I guess. Now, and I understand that. Well, I think probably there's Lindsey Graham and Hawley from Missouri. Well, they're going to vote for it. That gives them 52. I've heard that Rubio is on board at 51, and if the two Georgians go in, that would be 53. And you always have people like Collins and McCoskey, so that could be 55 if they join forces. So, on the other hand, what Romney does is hard to know because, look at it this way, I mean, he always wants to vote against Trump, and since Trump's advocating it, and he's probably more of a fiscal conservative. The thing about Romney you have to understand is the Romney-Trump thing is truly an ego clash, and also probably a clash of styles. I don't think that Romney is really liberal at all. It's just Romney wants to be as obnoxious to Trump as possible because Trump basically called him a loser, a man that choked under pressure, and he's humiliated and he's retaliating. It's a very childish situation between the two of them, but that's that. So he probably won't vote for it. Just a guess. And then you got 5 more people. So it's hard to know whether it will hit cloture or not. You also have the fact that the Democrats are threatening to obstruct everything else they want to do if they don't put it up for a vote. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything at all from Mitch McConnell on the subject. And I kind of have a feeling there was a lot of negotiation over the weekend between Trump and people in the Senate to get him to sign the bills, and I don't know what he promised President Trump in return. So we'll just have to wait to see how that plays out and what the consequences are. Other than to the deficit, I don't know. Obviously, some people will be having a merry post-Christmas, I guess, if it passes. Which I don't know. I mean, if you're in a family of 4 with a combined income of slightly under $150,000, and you get $8,000 checks, I guess you can't. Whatever, enjoy. I guess so. I'm being sarcastic there, of course. Anyhow, let's get on with it. The final thing I want to get to before we terminate this video here is that there's a new theory that somehow they can get Vice President Pence to pull some kind of an act in the middle of counting the votes where he decides perhaps to, well, one version is to count the votes from the challenge delegations rather than ones that have been certified, which then, of course, if he does that, I don't know what happens since he's presiding. I think there'll be an unruly body will occur at that point. Will Democrats rush the podium there? I don't know. But, and I don't know that he would do something like that. But if he does, the challenge process can be used against that just like it can be used the other way around. The difference is the challenges probably will succeed and the certified votes will be reinstated. Again, the same rationale is the challenges, of course, to attempt to go the other direction would then pass in the House. In the Senate, you still have your 48 Democrats, and I think there's a few wayward Republicans like a Collins and McCoskey and maybe somebody else, maybe Romney, let's say in this case, that would go the other way, and, well, there you have it. So you see what I'm getting at. I don't think that would work either, but it would definitely create a very exciting January the 6th if it happens. But at any rate, that's in there, and I guess there's still some court action going on, and we'll see what. Most of those seem to be things that have very unlikely to succeed. I think the final thing was when President Trump's last lawsuit over Pennsylvania, I believe it was received to the Supreme Court, and the hearing was scheduled for January the 22nd. I think that says something, if you understand what will be the situation by January the 22nd, probably. So that's about it for now. And I'll keep this short because, like I said, this is a fast developing situation. Whatever you think is going to happen now may be wrong within hours. So until next time.